Hey everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is quite simple. We are going to draw some flower doodles. You can use pencil as well first and then trace everything with the help of pen. I'm using different size of gel pen, size 1, 5, 005. If you don't have these pen, don't worry about it. Use normal ball pen and pencil and try to do these things. Okay, so let's start with the first one. I'm using 01 gel pen first, and for the fine detailing I'm going to use 005 pen. So let's start. We are going to create few basic and simple flowers. These are very easy to follow. So you need to create a round kind of shape, a little bigger as a guiding line, and then you can create different fine floral petals in a group. You also need to do a little bit of overlapping and create a shape like this, having multiple petals in it combined together to create one flower, and then a little bit of base for the flower to make it look like it is actually a flower. And I'm going to repeat this for every flower that we have. Little bit of overlapping of petals, little oval kind of shape for a single flower. I'm doing it directly with the help of pen. You can also draw a guiding line for yourself with the help of pencil and then follow the same guiding line to create these petals. Very simple. A little base, and then you can create stems and leaves for these flowers. You can create two lines for the stems or a single line, totally fine, totally up to you, and then create small leaves. I'm creating these small leaves. You can do a little bit of detailing in the leaves as well with the help of fine pen if you want to, or you can keep it like that as well. You can do the same thing with the help of watercolor as well. I am going to show you how we can do all these flower fillers in the next video. Now second one, we need a little bigger circle kind of shape. I'm going to create two flower here and U shape inside the circle. So something like this. This is our guiding line, and then start with the U shape. Do some fine lines and dotted lines, solid lines to fill this particular area. So this is the base of the flower. Now I'm going to create multiple flowers which is blooming from this particular structure. So create two lines like this. The attached is the pointed one and another side is little broader. Because these are the bloomed flower, I'm going to add petals like structure in these, but I'm drawing the flower base as of now. Then you can create something like this to make it look like it is small flowers. So this is the group of small flowers combining together to create one big flower. Small flowers. In between you can add more flowers. You can add flower birds as well. I'm adding few more flowers in between to make it a little bushier. And that's it. Now you can add stems. As our flowers are bigger, I'm creating two lines. In the first one I have created only one for the stems, and for the leaves you can use different shapes of leaf. For this one I am creating little longer leaf from the lily family. Adding leaves is totally optional, but To complete this, I think leaves are important, so I'm adding these leaves having different structure, shape and size for different flower. And likewise you can create number of flower doodles. You don't need to create real flowers, you can create imaginary flowers as well, or you can take inspiration from different flowers. So this flower is actually the inspiration from the lily flower, so I'm creating this kind of shape for all the flowers. First I'm going to show you step by step how we can create this flower, and then from one end create round kind of shape going inside the flower, then create a straight line, and then combine these two lines together. And then you can add little bit of detailing inside the flower. You can add stems, you can add leaves. If you are a beginner, you just need to push yourself to start with. I have seen in my career that people are scared to start because they might end up having criticism. But let me tell you this, start with one art and let them choose whether it is good or bad, whether they are liking it or they are not liking it. And while they are choosing, create another art. And I'm sure you will end up having better and better day by day and art by art. Feedback is important and you need to take all these feedback for your betterment. So take all the feedback, positive and negative, to make yourself better day by day. That's what I do. Okay, so I think we are done with this particular doodle as well. I'm doing a little bit of detailing in the leaves. These are little bigger leaves and inspired by lily of valley flowers. So for the shading you can add dotted lines and solid lines. Okay, now let's create few more. So this one is the basic flower having 5 petals in it. As soon as you do little bit of variation in the petals, you will end up having different perspective. Whenever we create a group of flower, perspective is important. So try to add different perspective in your flowers. I have already created a bunch of videos around different perspective of flowers. So if you want to learn how we can draw this, you can refer to my videos. In a simple way, I can explain you like this. If you add petals in different size, let's say for example you are creating 5 petals, so 3 petals bigger and 2 petals smaller, you will end up having different perspective like this. This one is a little bit tilted towards the left side, this one is towards the sky because of the petal shape. That's the only difference. Then little bit of ovary detailing in the middle, and a line for all the petals. You can add a little bit of curl in the petals as well. These are very small flowers, so I'm not adding these kind of detailings in it. And then you can create stems and leaves. I'm using 01 mm fine pen. You can do all these things with the help of ball pen as well, just to start with. Don't wait for fancy stuff, don't wait for fancy watercolor sheet or anything like that. Just grab a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen and just start with these things. I'm adding little bigger leaves this time, adding detailing into it. This one is little bit tilted towards downward direction. You can add perspective in the leaves as well. Now let me create one more. This one is inspired by the lavender flower. So I'm creating oval kind of shape attached with the main stem, leaving little bit area blank and then creating again this group of flowers. You can do a little bit of overlapping as well to make it a little bushier, and create one more with the same pattern. The first one and this one is quite similar. The only difference is I'm creating in a string, and the first one I have created in a group. And then leaves, just like we can see for the lavender flowers. Little bit of perspective in the leaves as well, tilted towards downward direction. Now let's create one more. And this I'm creating two petals, simple petal like this, just to start with. So two petals, and then two bigger petals having little zigzag edges. This one is inspired by the Irish flower. So as I said, you can draw varieties of flowers taking inspiration from the real flowers and do something like this. Create stems and little bit of detailing in the flower petals. You can keep only flowers, you can add leaves as well, totally fine. How you like to compose your flowers with different numbers of flowers and number of leaves. You can add two lines for the stems. I think we should add little bit of leaves as well. I'm creating same kind of leaves like we did for the last one. Okay, now you have understand what needs to be done to create doodles like this. Let me show you two more, very simple. So I'm creating an ovary and all the petals are in the downward direction. An oval shape like we did for the first one. We are repeating the same thing. The only difference is this time we have created a bigger ovary, the center part of the flower, and attaching all the petals together. This one is also the same flower but having different perspective. This is closed one, so we cannot see the ovary of the flower, but we can see the sepals. So you can add a little bit of sepals at the base. Create stems, and because these petals are a little bigger, we can add a line around each petals. Little bit of dots around the ovary just to finish it, and different shape of leaf. This time I'm adding little serrated leaves. Likewise, you can add different varieties of leaves and flowers while creating these doodles. In this one, I'm creating only 3 petals and the base of the flowers, 2 sepals around the base, and repeating the same thing for all the flowers. Whenever you create a flower bouquet or group of flowers or flower borders, you can use all these flowers together and create different kind of flower bouquet, border, or whatever you like to draw. Repeat the same thing, add leaves, add stem. This time I'm creating group of leaves facing towards downward direction. All the leaves are at the base and tilt it towards the downside. You can add a little bit of detailing in the leaves and flowers like we did for the other. I'm hoping this video is helpful for you guys, and please do let me know how you feel about all these simple art just to start with, and let me know your feedback. As I said, feedback is important to make yourself better, so I also need your positive and negative feedback. And thank you so much for all your love and support and watching my videos. See you guys in the next video.